Hello, beautiful people. Mic check, mic check. How you doing? Got my little holiday hat. There we go. It's cute and functional. It's cold and wet here. hmm My state is underwater. It's very depressing, but ho ho ho. You go on and have fun with that. I'm not. Yeah, it's not good around these parts. You can't go very far around these parts before you hit water, where water should not be. It's distressing and depressing. Oh, well, how y'all doing? Hit the like button, share this live. It's been a week, but we've made it to Friday. It's good to see y'all. Never look like what you're going through. Never look like what you're going through. Things are actually pretty good here. It's just it's just a process. It's just sequencing and process, but sequencing and process going pretty well. Other than the fact that I don't want to be dealing with this situation, I'm dealing with it pretty well. So, but yes, good to see you all. Is that an update? Because they released 9. Okay, they have 95,000, but they released 9, 19. 9 was in there somewhere. I was close ish. It was much less than what they released last time. Okay. So, yeah, let's be clear. They're in possession of 95,000 photos. And we're going to talk about that. Okay. But let's start with a little bit of good news that we do have in the world today, right here in America. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who you may recall was kidnapped by the United States government. He was accused of being there and being a trafficker, and they sent him off, and the court said you're gonna have to bring him back. So this has been a constant litigation process on there's a couple dockets related to this gentleman. Um, the court ruled yesterday that he needed to be released. He is home. And they uh also said stop detaining this man for the purposes of deportation. Because if you may recall, if you've been, at least kind of paying attention to the headlines, they were every time the court said release him, they said we're just going to pick him up for something else and deport him under those grounds. And so the court has said release him. He's home. And stop it. Full stop. Stop it. Amen. 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 At some point in time, the United States government is going to face class actions representing thousands of people, as the government should, as the government should. So that's the good news. He's home. in time for the holidays. And thank you, beautiful. Appreciate you. And the court said, knock it off. Now, uh, the knock it off is a temporary, but it's a firm one. The government has been brazenly violating court orders, so I'm not suggesting that it's over. Excuse me. I'm not suggesting that it's over. But it is important when a situation hits these kinds of milestones and an oversight body of some sort, especially in this case, the court, stamps things on the timeline. That's important for the future of what happens to this man and to other people who are facing, the same violation of their human and civil rights. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yes, this is true. Lily Eternal asked, "Did I see correctly that someone is suing Donald about the White House demolition?" Yeah, there are, I don't know if there's a new one, but there are conservation groups that immediately went to court. So maybe it's in the headlines because of a little procedural milestone in that case, or maybe something additional has been filed, but a given, a given that was going to happen. Hey, beautiful. Thank you. Good to see you. Appreciate the support. Thank you for the $20 donation. So yeah, it's not the end, but it is a procedural milestone that matters. That matters for precedent. But that's all I got on that. Let's move on to some expanded information that we have about 50 Cent. I saw a headline. I can't remember what publication put it out, but I saw a headline that said something to the effect of, "We might all owe 50 Cent an apology." And no, we don't. We don't owe 50 Cent an apology for a damn thing. And we're not about to assign credit to him in a way that erases who he is and the harms that he has caused. That's not how "you did a good job with the documentary" works. That's not how that works. "Oh, you did a good job with the documentary, therefore, these misogynistic things that you do, you know, not so bad." No, that's not how it works. We don't owe him an apology for a damn thing. So I just wanna say that, just off rip. But there has been more information to come out about the footage in Sean Combs' The Reckoning. We all know the footage that we're talking about. So last time we talked about this footage in detail, we had come to the conclusion that there were definitely people under contract, right? We read the cease and desist from Diddy's lawyers to Netflix. So it was very clear that Sean Combs had people under contract. The internet ran with that and said, for sure, he didn't pay them. So it reverted back to them. You know, what we had said here, and what Furry Bee Productions had said here was, I think there was a contract, correct about that. Potentially there could have been problems with that contract. So according to the most recent reporting and statements that have been issued, that is not the case. Okay. Um, the cease and desist letter had specific excerpts from said contract that seemingly exists somewhere that we have not seen. Okay. But what has come out since then is that the people that were working for Diddy worked for him for a couple of years. And one of them was gone for 4 days. At least one was gone for 4 days, potentially more. And so they had some stand-ins that they knew to work for them for the time that they would be away from being able to be available for Diddy. And it's the people who were, temping basically for the original videographers who allegedly took, that's the word that the original videographers used. I don't believe they used the word stolen. I believe they used the word um, took the footage that they were able to capture on the days that they were there. Hello, Tales from Purgatory. Good to see you. A. Brown says, he didn't do this, Doc, for justice or truth or concerns for the victims. He did it out of personal vendetta. Right. He's the Marjorie Taylor Greene of hip hop right now. They're the same energy being brought, right? She's the Epstein victims. Broad, you do not care about the Epstein victims. You don't care. That is just a plot mechanism for you to cement your legacy, come up with a legitimate reason to leave, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It does not lessen a damn thing that you have done because you're a horrible fucking person. Apply the same thing to 50 Cent. Apply the same thing to 50 Cent. You know, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But when I read it, I believe this was yesterday, my thinking was, well, this is another party that could file a lawsuit, is the original videographer or videographers who were actually under contract with Diddy and then, yes, had some substitutes step in for them while they needed to be away from the project. That is potentially, in theory, at least, another party who could file an action and say, they did this causing us liability or something. I don't really know. Somebody asked about what's the IP law on this. Girl, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We know that Diddy's lawyers assert that it's copyright violation and that he owned the footage. Period. I'm sure there's an argument. I'm not saying it's a strong one, but I'm sure there is an argument that could be at least floated, if not made outright in court on Diddy's side, that the subs were de facto under contract and knew or should have known the terms of their temporary employment. So it's a mess. It's a mess. But Diddy has said his part in a cease and desist. The original videographer, at least one of them, has released a statement. No sit down in front of the camera like, so boom. Released a statement. It was covered by reputable media. And explicitly said that the issue of non-payment is not why the footage wound up in 50 Cent's hands. It's that they took it and they gave it to him, but it was never a non-payment issue. So, everything is copywritten at the moment it is created, okay? You don't have to file a copyright to have a copyright. If you write an original thing right now, it's copywritten. If you want to enforce your protections in court, then you will need to file something with the Copyright Office. Well, we all know it's real. We know it's real. He already admitted that it's real when he released his public statement saying there's stolen footage. So, that's not in dispute. That's not in dispute. It's him. Everybody knows it's him. He knows it's him. His lawyers know it's him. So, that's not in dispute. Um so, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's out there, and yeah, the damage is done, and again, it's both, I guess, reputational damage because it really makes you look like a horrible person, and then it's also, as I said before, the ability for you to be the first one to stamp an impression in people's minds of what the storified narrative of this entire situation, meaning your life, should be, has been defined by somebody else. And to me, that's a greater death strike than just 50 Cent doing a documentary about the allegations and the trial and the women and the parties and the da 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 da. No, let's talk about your childhood. Let's talk about your mama. Let's talk about your daddy. Let's talk about all the complexes you developed at a young age. I saw this go around, you know, social media pretty heavily, but a lot of people creating videos and posts saying, so as it turns out, if somebody had just beat Diddy's ass, we wouldn't be where we are today because he would have never become who he would have became. And that is faulty reasoning. Let me just say that off rip. It's tempting, but it's faulty. And first of all, we are not the people to determine what impacts in a person's life determine the rest stops and route of a person's life. Um, People said this about Hitler. If they hadn't crushed Hitler's art school dreams, the Holocaust would have never happened. I don't believe that either. I don't believe that either. I think he would have left art school and gone on to become the person who he was. And I think, here at the same time, with regard to Diddy, I will say this, that when all of this started to come out, anytime there was a situation where it was like Diddy got violent or Diddy beat somebody's ass, Diddy threatened a coach or whatever, when it came to men, Diddy in confrontations with men, I was really just like incredulous because, like all of you, I understand that Diddy is a bitch ass nigga. I understand that. Right? And so a lot of the times when I would hear things, I'd be like, "Nuh-uh," but then a pattern of behavior develops, and you mature in the world, and you become more experienced with people and with men, and with how they display their behavior and why. Um, and so a pattern started to develop where I said, "Oh, he knows he's a bitch ass nigga. He has an inferiority complex, and he wants to be strong and powerful." And I think that if somebody woulda whooped Diddy's ass, the only thing that it would have done is cement in his mind just how strong he needed to be, that he needed to prove and show to people that he was. That's my take. But yes, the footage was not, acquired because it wasn't paid for. The footage was acquired because allegedly it was taken. So, so, so dangerous. Insecure men, period, are dangerous. Insecure men, period, are dangerous. Not all violence is physical. Um, yeah, Furry Bee Productions. Hello, beautiful. Furry says, "I saw the movie The Time Machine. No matter how many times dude went back in time and changed things, his wife still died. Diddy was always gonna be a monster." Yeah. Yep. So, it'll be interesting to see. I think also because it's really hard, um, to not do something when you feel like you've been harmed, and if you're in a position of privilege, right, you're used to being able to pull the levers of manipulation in your life, and Diddy is that's been his whole life, is pulling the levers of manipulation to put himself in what he perceives to be the best position possible, and that reinforces his own sense of power and control over his life. So, if he sues, that's gonna be why he sues, because it reinforces his own sense of power. He has the resources to do it, so he can do it. He just has to tell some lawyers, "Sue everybody for everything," and they'll do it. That's a lever of manipulation. Does he have a case? I don't know. I don't know. But we all know that if anybody files anything, whether he files it against Netflix, whether he files it against the original videographers, the substitute videographers, is gonna take 6 months to a year to even determine if there will actually be, you know, like a trial or something. We've learned enough on this channel to know that it will take time. I agree. I agree with this. Freebie Production says, "I'd like to counter the argument of once a lame, always a lame. There's one way out of lame: accountability. Accountability. Accountability." I mean, he already gave people their masters back. They had to sign a really crappy agreement to get them back. Yeah, yeah. Lawyers eating good, lawyers eating good. So that's the that on that. I thought that was a very interesting clarification for them to come out and explicitly say this was not about non-payment. This was about footage that was taken by people who, temporarily were on the project. So, I just, those are some really critical 4 days, um, that I believe if I'm recalling correctly, that it was 4 days that the substitute videographers were there. The video that we saw in the docuseries was 6 days before he was arrested. We don't know if that was their last day with him, their first day, their second, their third day. We don't know, but it's at a critical, critical point in time. And the other headline that I saw in relation to just Sean Combs' The Reckoning in general, um, was and I just saw the headline, I didn't even click on it, but the headline said, "Sean Combs: The Reckoning, Season 1." And I just let out a cackle and kept on scrolling, but I let out a strong cackle because I was like, people know, everybody knows that there's more. Everybody knows that there's more, and I just really wonder if and when we're going to get more, and if and when that is also going to be strategically timed. Could be a couple years, hint, hint. Could be a couple years, hint, hint. Approximately 50 months. Oh god. I said, "Oh, the shade, the shade." Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Yeah, this is like the test balloon, you know? Season 1 is like the test balloon to get through. It'll take us maybe about 4 years to get through all the litigation that could come from from season 1. We'll know at that point in time what it is that we can do then with season 2. But yeah, I saw season 1. I said the fucking shade. It's distinctly not called season 1. uh Wow, wow, wow. So, yeah. And in more wow, the oversight Dems have released a small, very small batch of photos in comparison to what it is that they released last week. And I would just like to apologize to everybody because I asked the universe for this last night. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I'm not even going to hold you. I explicitly said to the universe, "It's been too many days. I thought we were on a pressure campaign. There needs to be more photos." And now today, there's more photos. Oversight Dems is in possession of 95,000 photos. I was like, I'm not even going to pull that photo because I literally would have to blur the whole thing. I don't know why. I don't know why you were surprised by that. Yes, this. Also, Woody Allen, fork found in kitchen. And why is Woody Allen, is this from a set? Because he's clearly filming something. Is it on the island? We don't know. But just seeing Jeffrey Epstein in a photo with Woody Allen, where Woody Allen is clearly sitting behind a camera. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I was like, this photo could be completely otherwise innocent, except for the fact that it's Woody Allen and fucking Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, God. I got Instagram. What's my most recent search? Oversight Dems. Oh, wait a minute. I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm pushing the wrong button. My bad. Hold on. Can't show that. Can't show that. But if you want to look up the jawbreaker gag, I suppose you could. Uh, Bill Gates. Yeah, this is bizarre. Bill Gates, Andrew, and then Woody Allen and Jeffrey Epstein. I really don't like the way my brain works because I just wonder what it is that they are filming. He married his daughter. Yes. It's going to get messy. Let's all prepare ourselves. I'm disappointed that there's going to be a lot of attacking of an objectification of kink. I think that's going to be an unfortunate side effect of this situation. But yeah, if you're in need of some condoms, Richard Branson, Donald Trump with a bunch of women. I saw one of the victims going after Naomi Campbell. Yeah, because Naomi Campbell is in photos with all of the men in question and identified victims. And of course, there's Bubba. I forgot all about Bubba. I didn't forget about Bill, but I forgot about Bubba. I just remembered Bubba. That's not actually Bubba, but it is on the internet. So, none. 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 None of these people are a surprise. Congratulations. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Awesome. Yeah, none. None. The thing that surprises me is the more that people are identified, the more we can see the web that connects them to each other. That is where I have my, oh moments, but never like a, "Who?" No, I never have that. It's more of a, "Oh, and now how is this connected? And now who else is this person connected to in this larger circle?" That is extremely illuminating to me. I don't give a shit what the narrative is. Don't care. Not gonna get into it here. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. So they're sifting through 95,000 photos, you know, I just realized it's signed by this one, that one that I was just showing is actually signed by Bill. Um, they've got candids, they've got things that were seized during various search warrants, and then they've got what appear to be evidentiary photos during searches of the property. Um, today is definitely, I mean, look at it. I don't even know what else to say. Look, it's a turn. This is a turn. And strategically, I'm glad. Like I said, I apologize because yesterday, as a strategist, okay, when you think about the drip, drip, drip pressure tactic, it's the 12th. They have until the 19th to release everything. Yeah, so strategically, yesterday, I was like, we should have gotten more photos by now. We should have gotten more photos by now, and here we are with photos, photos. I don't know who the "he" is that you are referring to. You have to be specific. Child. It's just like, wow, we're gonna go all the way up into Christmas, and, the other thing is strategically is when the holiday break is over, they still need to come back beating the drum, pointing things out to people, um, calling for hearings and so forth. It's pretty wild, that we've gotten to this place in history, that we've gotten to this point. Um, I'll probably talk about this in a future live because I've just learned about this case. I think it was Alex posted about it in the Discord, but Vince and Linda McMahon and the WWF, or whatever it's called, whatever the parent is over who purchased WWF, are being sued by a group of John Does who were ring boys. Um, that lawsuit was filed in a lower Baltimore court and then removed to federal court. It's at the motion to dismiss stage. I'm trying to remember. I've looked at a couple different dockets today, and I haven't looked at this one since yesterday. It's at the motion to dismiss stage right now. But I bring it up because it got me thinking about, quite literally, for lack of a better word, this reckoning moment that we're just having in society right now as a whole. We're definitely experiencing it here in America, but it is also, again, a global um, situation of trafficking and abuse. And I think about the Catholic Church, I think about residential schools, I think about pretty much every single major scandal that there has been on abuse and trafficking, and this issue with the WWF, which was said abuse was said to have taken place between the '70s up into the '90s, and I just think about how long things go on for before people are held to account. Justice and accountability are not inevitable. They are not a guarantee. They are not a guarantee. Once all of this information becomes public, it becomes then incumbent upon us to hold people accountable. Accountability and justice are not necessarily the same thing. They can be, they can overlap, but they're not necessarily the same thing. I have no faith, and none of us should have any faith, that the Justice Department of this country is going to do anything meaningful about any of the people who abused the women that we have seen and the women that we have not, who were trafficked from around the world. But accountability, once we know who they are, that rests on society. And this is one of those esoteric questions that I'm not necessarily looking for an answer to. Um, which is, well, it's kind of a string of questions, why now? What does this all mean? Is it a critical mass? Is it a tipping point? Does this really truly is it going to represent a marked shift that at some point in time we'll be able to look back on and know that this was a turning point? This and things that have led up to it, right? Because this is not a finite moment. This is decades of victims fighting. It's the Me Too movement. It's BLM and Black women and queer people and femmes being more appropriately positioned in the fight and the struggle for our human rights and dignity than we were in the historic civil rights movement. It's a lot of things that build to this point, and we don't know what the overall impact is going to be, and we're not gonna know for a while, but these are the things that I just kind of, like, rhetorically wonder, took so long. Why now? What does this mean for society? What does this mean for survivors, regardless of gender or regardless of sex or gender identity? I don't know, but I hope it means something. And, you know, somebody said, what do we do from here?" Right? It's like once a society and its leaders become shameless, it's forced to rediscover shame. And I think that that is something that America in particular is going through right now. The leadership of this country is shameless. They're shameless in how corrupt they are. They're shameless in how heartless they are. They're shameless in how bloodthirsty they are. They're just shameless. Look at social media. Look at the things that people put out about themselves or other people. That would be unthinkable to speak of outside of your home, and definitely not within mixed company, because people are shameless. We have become a shameless society, and shame is powerful, and I think is a necessary component to a civilized and safe society. Shame and shun go together real bad. If you can't shame someone, you can't shun them. And that is like the root in every culture of a civilized and safe society is shame and shun. Going back to forever, no matter where you are on the planet. Those things are hard coded into our DNA. And so now we're at such an extreme of the amount of exposure that is required to result in shame and therefore shun or disempower is this. So here we are. So here we are. Fortify yourselves because it's gonna be a wild couple of weeks. It's yeah, it's only gonna get more confronting. It's only gonna get more confronting. And now let's talk about the biscuit head of the bunch. Come on, would you just work properly? Thank you. Is it Sherrone? I've never said this man's name before in my life. Sherrone Banfield Moore. There's an E at the end, so I'm gonna have to go with Sherrone. I don't really know. Yeah, I think that's dumb. Um, and I already expressed my opinion about this the other day. I'm happy to repeat myself. Marlon Wayans is an idiot. Okay. I don't listen to celebrities are not my moral compass for a fucking thing. Nothing. I don't listen to anything they say. Their opinions don't mean anything to me on any subject whatsoever. Marlon Wayans is a dumb man. Okay? He's smart about what he's good at, and he's otherwise an idiot. He's not a sociologist. He's misogynistic himself. Proven track record of being an angry, entitled asshole. So that's my opinion on him. I don't give a fuck what he says about anything. Period. But ever. Sherrone rhymes with Tyrone. Kingling says, "Whoa, let's keep Tyrone's out of this. They still catching strays for people misinterpreting Erica Badu's lyrics." Yeah, I'm not the one. I'm not the one. That boy been dumb. He gonna be dumb. Birdhead. Yeah, I do not care. But Sherrone, Lord of mercy, this man. I'm just gonna be. Let's just back up before we get into how this man screwed his whole life in less than 24 hours. Um, this picture that I got of him down there in the corner, that was the day that I knew. I don't like him. I don't like him. If you don't know what that photo of him crying like a little bitch boy is from, is when hello, beautiful. Yeah, well, we'll get there. So Sherrone was an assistant coach for Michigan underneath Harbaugh, right? Right. Harbaugh had to serve a multi-game suspension for untoward shit. Not a persecuted man. Okay? Chat, check me if my overview is completely off base because I'm just going off of memory. um, while he was serving his suspension, I keep forgetting Sherrone. Sounds like an ad lib in a song. But anyway, Sherrone stepped in to coach the games. They won at least one, resulting in bitch boy over here crying and drooling on camera. We love you, coach. We love you. We love you. We're here for you. There's no better coach. There's no. He took Harbaugh from coach to persecuted Jesus Christ on the on the. I've thought of Sherrone. I've thought of Shimon. But he just goes into full on ugly drool, snot, tears. We're here because of you, coach. This is all because of you, because we love it. And you want to talk about jumping the shark? Jumping the shark, that man, smooth, first attempt, jumped all the way over the shark, okay? And I saw that, and it was at that moment, because before that, I didn't have no clue who this man was. And if that had not happened, I would not have a previous impression of him, right? Um, but when I saw that, because it was a big deal that Harbaugh was going to be gone, and it was at a clutch point in the season, right? It was just all of the things for a typical whitewashed, America, apple pie, football kind of story that the media just created and then to everybody. Harbaugh was not fucking persecuted. He wasn't off dying of cancer. That motherfucker was serving a righteous suspension. Okay? The team was probably just going to win off that vibe alone, right? Because they did nothing but get into their, woe is me. We are without our coach. We must prove to our coach that we are good enough and we got him and and we can hold it down while he's gone. They were already flying off of that energy, but the media ran with it. And Biscuit Boy over there, the minstrel show that he put on at the end of that particular game was cringe. Rama. Cringe-orama. It was I was just like, oh my God, he's crying over this white man on national television for everybody to see. Okay. So it was at that point, full disclosure, that I did not like that man. That I did not like that man. And that it felt like I don't know if I have words for it. It definitely, at the very least, I have words for this. At the very least, it felt like somebody who was completely bought into he's persecuted. We're now the underdog. They weren't the underdogs without our coach, and we have to come through for him, and we all owe him everything. You don't. It just felt like he had got way up in his head about this in a way that wasn't necessarily emotionally rational. So it was at that point where I was like, I don't like him. I don't like him. I can't remember. It doesn't matter, beloved. That's just the context. Are you here to ask dumb questions? Is that what you're here to do? You should go ask dumb questions somewhere else. We don't do dumb questions here. Um, so hard for them. So hard for them. So he's been fired and he's either in jail right now or in the process of getting bailed out uh onto home detention with an ankle monitor. He's been charged with several crimes. Okay, several crimes, but it goes like this. He had a relationship with a subordinate. Okay? That is a no-no. He had a relationship with a subordinate. That is a no-no in all situations at all jobs. Okay? Um, so yeah, he had a relationship with a subordinate. The relationship was ended by said subordinate employee. He apparently continued texting, calling her after the end of the relationship. She informed the school. He was immediately fired. He then broke into her home, brandished a knife, said that he was going to kill himself and that she was going to watch. At least one of these is a felony. He was arrested. Home invasion, third degree. eh, oh, right. He's married. Forgot that part. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. He didn't just have a relationship with a subordinate, he had an affair with a subordinate. So he violated school HR policy. I'm sure he violated his specific contract and also some morality provisions that were probably in there as well, because they fired that man immediately, not immediately, immediately. They fired him immediately. So she obviously had enough to show the school to prove that it's real, that they were in a relationship, and they fired him immediately. So he is being charged with home invasion of the third degree, did break and enter or did enter without permission a dwelling located at redacted, and while entering, presented in, or exiting the dwelling, did commit stalking, a misdemeanor, felony, 5 years and or $2,000. Count 2, stalking in a domestic relationship, did engage in willful course of conduct involving repeated or continuing harassment of the confidential victim, an individual with whom the defendant has or has had a dating relationship, 1 year, $1,000, up to 5 years probation, breaking and entering illegal entry without the owner's permission, did enter with or without breaking a dwelling located at redacted, whether occupied or unoccupied, without first obtaining permission to enter from the person having immediate control thereof, misdemeanor, 90 days, which I'm just going to say in general, I don't think is long enough. Okay. 90 days and or $500 fine. And this is, yes, on the DV docket. So, um, but yes, he said to her based on audio, um, from the 911 call that, "You ruined my life, you've destroyed my life, and my blood is on your hands, and I'm gonna kill myself, and you're gonna watch." No, they don't. They don't do that. But you can take what comes up in a criminal situation and apply it to divorce. and vice versa. If it was an entirely different situation and divorce was relevant to a violent criminal situation, you can take information from that and apply it to that case. The way our marriage would be immediately over. The way our marriage would be immediately over. And I don't know where you gonna get released to on your little ankle monitoring, but it ain't gonna be this house. And if the court says it is this house, we got kids, we're leaving. We're gone before they let you out the door. I'm out the house. I'm not even gonna wait for you to come home. Me, the kids are gone. Poof. Goodbye. Gone, poof, goodbye. And I'm not telling anywhere where we're staying. I'm hiring a lawyer that day, and I'm filing for divorce and full custody if there's children. And I don't have anything to say to you. The way I will immediately no longer speak to you again, outside of the presence of attorneys, never. Never. Never, 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 never. I went through a DV situation, and when my dad found out, he came over because I did not tell. Somebody else told. My dad came over. My dad was a nerd and a scholar. My dad came over, uh, with a baseball bat, took the locking mechanism out of the door, left me with the baseball bat, ran to the, um, hardware store, made sure he got a new appropriate replacement locking mechanism, came back, changed the locks, and no discussion needed to be had about, like, "I'm only doing this once." I know, dad. I know. I'm real clear. That relationship was over. Over. And I'm not talking about her because I don't know her and she's none of my business. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me. I'm not gonna speculate about other women because it's not appropriate. I'm talking about me. That shit would be over that day because there are too many things that have happened. There are a couple covenants that are broken, actually. No way. So, I've seen the narrative. Oh god, already, of course, the people being like, "She set him up." Blah, blah, the woman who he was having an affair with. This was all a setup to take him down, and they didn't really want a black coach in Michigan. Then guess what? They didn't have to hire one. Guess what? They could have hired anybody. He's sitting in the situation that he is in today because of his actions. This whole he was set up, he had a fucking affair for years. For years? You've been fucking somebody else for years? So what? The girl was a psychic and she could predict that he was gonna become the Michigan head coach. Be for real. Be for fucking real. No. He made the choice to step out on his marriage. Period. He made the choice to go to her home. He made the choice to enter her home. He made the choice to have a weapon. He made the choice to do all of that. And don't give people shit to use against you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Especially when you are in the wrong. You are not supposed to be having this relationship. One, because you're married. Two, because it's a subordinate. So you're double wrong. You can be fired for it. And then you get fired for it and you want to go tell her this is your fault. You ruined my life. I'm going to kill myself and you're going to watch and my blood is on your hands. You arrogant dick. Pull yourself the fuck together. That's not even reasonable or rational. In this day and age, that is not reasonable or rational. When she said, leave me alone, you should have left her the fuck alone. She had one hand to play that you gave her. And she played it. And now you mad? I don't fucking think so. You weren't supposed to be fucking her to begin with. It is so tired. The blue women shit is so fucking tired. It's so fucking tired. If we could manipulate you, ooh, if we could manipulate you, right, and just mind control you into some shit or pussy control you into some shit, men would not be president. Abortion would be free and legal. Black women would not make 38 cents on the dollar to every fucking white man. Hysterectomies would also be free. Shit. The retirement age would be 55. Do I need to keep going? You know? Childbirth mortality rates wouldn't be so high. You fucking kidding me? You'd have paid maternity and paternity leave for a year. A year. Paid childcare for life. All pants and skirts would have pockets. The first time I saw a wedding dress with pockets, I said, "Now that's progress." Now that is progress. Women's liberation right there. Shoot. So, yeah, he's not a victim of anything. He's an idiot. He's an arrogant idiot. An arrogant idiot. And he should be ashamed of himself and he should go away and he should figure himself out because clearly that is a man with multiple issues. Multiple issues. And I'm not discounting, listen, I am not discounting that he probably did feel completely devastated. It probably did cause him to panic, and it probably did feel like his life was over in a very significant way. But it is this is your fault. You did this to me. My blood is on your hands. I'm going to traumatize you for the rest of your life by killing myself in your home. Motherfucker, you've lost your goddamn. That's when you need to be slapped across the face and told to pull yourself the whole fuck together because you did this to yourself. And that's what he needs to go away and work on. This is based on your actions. If you had not fucked her, she would not be in a position to play the hand you dealt her by fucking her. I say this as a woman who has played a dealt hand. In a DV situation. Once the locks were changed and the boundary was set and they started getting desperate and manipulative and then started making sure that threats were communicated back to me, baby, I played a dealt hand. A dealt hand. A dealt hand. Zero apology. Would do again. Highly recommend 10 out of 10. No apology. Saved me and my kids. No apology. Somebody help this person find their way out. Dan and Dixie says a mirror is the easiest thing to locate, but the hardest thing to look into. Yeah, and that's what this amounts to. This is a man who's arrogant, who, probably just high off of the local town prestige of being on the Michigan coaching staff, let alone then rising to be the coach. It's its own little world. We know this about college football. We know this. It's its own little insular world. And football coaches rank high in the power structure, in the influence structure, in the get what I want structure, in the special exceptions are made for me structure, in the people get out of my way so I don't have to wait in line. These little things that build up to, oh, you think these rules won't apply to you? You think because at some point in time you had an affair and she promised to keep it a secret that you should never suffer the consequences of violating school policy for a fireable offense? You've got it twisted. The fact of the matter is every day that you wake up, you and nobody else are rolling the dice on your career. Every single day. And you get so accustomed to just breaking even on that daily dice roll that you think you will never lose. That's not how the game works. Thank you. So, he's not a victim. He's an idiot. He's just another arrogant man trying to blame shift his actions onto a woman, and it is outrageous. And I've already seen people say since he had a court appearance today and documents has started coming out, she wasn't as much of a victim as she played herself up to be. It wasn't that serious. A felony, it shouldn't be a felony. It's like they're already trying to rationalize and justify and, you know, be reductive about what he did. And, oh, it wasn't that bad. She wasn't that much of a victim. A victim is a victim. A victim is a victim. We're not going to let randos in society, especially men, because these are all men, because it's college football. Y'all don't get to be the arbiters of what is a valid victim and what is not. That's absurd. Absolutely absurd. It's not a federal case. He can't pardon people who don't have federal convictions. So, absolutely right. Goldie Vox, good to see you, beautiful, says that mentality is a direct through line to how we end up with victims of sex trafficking. Yeah. Yeah. There's always people out there coming with some mitigating argument that is horseshit and based on pure ignorance, arrogance, and misogyny. I literally saw somebody on social media who said girls are supposed to be desirable sexually at puberty because otherwise, why would God have their bodies change if not to make them desirable? I don't know if you know this, but that's not the function and purpose of breasts. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say to that except for it's not the purpose or function of breasts. Because that's what he was talking about. So yeah. Uh Demetrius, thank you for the $20 contribution. Appreciate you. What else is going on in the world? DJ Academics is getting his ass handed to him. That's been very interesting. It's Mano, right?
Just pull yourself together.
You know, I definitely don't pay attention to him either unless it's on a docket, but he got into a little kerfuffle. I think this started last week, but it escalated very, very quickly. Mano has accused Livingston Allen of being a sicko. And he's put out a couple videos about it. One of them I watched last night where he basically issues a lengthy apology to survivors of abuse and exploitation. Um, he addresses the people who said, "Why'd you wait so long to call out Livingston?" And he said, "I didn't know." But as soon as he started acting like a jackass last week, people started coming to me with stuff about this man and things that he has done to women and girls, and now I know. So now I'm gonna speak on it. He was saying things like, hip hop has failed women, and he can see the direct correlation here between demifying and objectifying women, not believing women, and that hip hop has been the main propagator of that, and has made it really hard for us. And but he's going in on Livingston Allen. And Livingston said last week that he was gonna sue him. He hasn't sued him yet. And he's still talking shit about him. And he just wants to hammer the point home that as far as he's concerned, Chat right or wrong, Livingston Allen is a pedophile and an abuser. That he needs to be fully exposed and held accountable for those things. One female went to the police. Female what? Cat? Fish? Crab? Plant? Oh, you mean woman. You mean woman. Woman. You mean woman. That's what you mean. That we know of. one has gone to police that we know of. Yeah. So, and there's been a lot of misinformation about that situation on the internet. I did my Livingston Allen video a long time ago. When I first started this channel, I did a video on Livingston Allen as the Nightcrawler of hip hop. So if you haven't seen that, you can look it up and check it out. Um, None of this is surprising to me, and I think it needs to continue. I think that he needs to be called out. I'm not saying that he is or is not anything that anybody else says that he is. What I'm saying that he is that he is a decrepit, anti-Black, misogynistic, verbally abusive, and manipulative piece of shit of a man. And he does need to be held accountable for that. He does need to be called out and shamed for that. And he does need to be told to shut the fuck up and keep our names out of his filthy fucking mouth. He should get that pressure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it should come from everybody. Not just one person who's decided to stand up and say, "Hey, this man is a piece of shit." And his grift on the culture is how he's able to position himself to be this piece of shit. Welcome, beautiful. Yeah. So he needs to be treated like a decrepit bottom feeder. So anytime that I see that happen, mhm, mhm, yep, yeah. So lumps of coal for all these motherfuckers and Christmas titties for you. Yeah, there are a lot of people who wanna try and say, like, "He's so powerful." No, he's not. No, he's not. He is a bottom-feeding leech. That's it. And people who support him and associate with him, they should be shamed as well because they're the ones that are actually empowering his shitty behavior. It's crazy how hip hop will allow for absolutely irrelevant fucking nobodies to take position and manipulate and exploit and perpetrate harm while also denigrating Black people at every fucking turn. You wanna talk about a bitch ass nigga who needs to get socked in the mouth. Princey agrees. I have a hat on. See my hat? I have hat. Hello, hat. Here, hat. Nope, doesn't care about my hat. Well, you're showing everybody your everything. I don't think they want to see all that. Did you just wake up from your nappies? Yes. Mhm. I can tell by how hard you're resting your head on my face that you just woke up. Hi, babies. Oh, look at that. Hi. Thanks. Appreciate it. You're very purry. Mhm. There's a bunch of people watching you. If you saw those people in real life, you'd run and hide under the stairs. Your nose is so pink today. All right. Oh. He did not want to get down. He was like, yeah, this is great. That butt was firmly in my lap. Noted. No, he's right down there. He took 2 steps and then came back, and he's walking around my legs. Oh, goodness gracious. I really thought that, there was gonna be an arrest by today in the Celeste Rivas case, but apparently not. Hmm. What a week. What a week. I'm still tripping on the photos. Good God. I'm still tripping on the photos, and that is gonna Friday is strategic timing for control of the weekend news narrative, or at least a prominent position in the weekend news narrative. Friday is pretty much, unless something happens over a weekend, the weekend news is everything that was captured on Friday. So they're gonna carry that through. This will be talked about on, all the news shows who have their highest viewership ratings on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. So again, strategically, they really did the damn thing with this particular drop um, of photos. Between this and the photos we looked at last time with, um looks like they also released a couple more photos of the property itself. But between this and then the room that had the freaking mask heads on it, I cannot believe nobody has come forward with a detailed explanation of what the fuck that is. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, we're in the LBG. No, I'm not following Chicago in finite detail like that. More focused on the decisions that come out of related cases out of Chicago, but no, I don't have the bandwidth to follow those kinds of finite details in every city where the president is got his goons kidnapping people off of the street. We don't have any answers. You'll have to go back and watch that live to see us pontificate. We don't have any answers. At some point, we will get them. I think some of them were characters. I think some of them were real people. But again, we don't know yet. Yeah, we don't know yet. Has anybody watched um Stranger Things, the current season? Okay, without giving any spoilers, what's your overall reaction? For anybody who has watched the show and is now watching this current season, what's your reaction overall to this midway point that we're at in the current season? I'm curious. Glad it's wrapping up. Me too. Yeah, I think um seasons 1 through 3 were the best seasons of the show for sure. Um Hold on a sec, let me multitask. I think it's really unfortunate that they had to have such a long break in between this current season and the previous season. Um, for those of you who are members and are looking for the link to the Discord, I just posted it on the tabs post. I mean, on the post tab for this YouTube channel. Um, yeah, I think the break was unfortunate, and I think that I was really surprised at how not into it I was this current season. I was like, I don't think I believe it anymore. And I don't mean like believed it as in it's a truthful, factual thing, but you know what I mean. You have to believe a show, right? And I was like, oh, I don't think I believe it anymore. And I didn't necessarily expect to have that reaction to it, but that was definitely my reaction. It was, I don't think I believe it anymore. I can see the acting of some of the people. Uh, I can see the acting. That's never a good sign when I can see the acting. You don't want to see the acting. You just want to see the characters. So I felt like, yeah, I can see the acting. Um, and for me, I'm still gonna watch it. I'm still gonna watch when they drop the last 4 episodes, I'm still gonna watch it, but I realize that I'm gonna watch it so that I know how it ended. I'm not gonna watch it because I enjoy it the way that I did by, like, say, season 2 or season 3. Nope, I'm gonna watch it just to watch the conclusion of it, but I don't necessarily know that I believe it anymore. No spoilers. Episode 4 of the current season, which is where it breaks off for, like, another 2 weeks, um, was probably the best, I would say. And I went back and I watched them again. I watched these 4 episodes that are available again because when I watched them the first time, by the time I got to episode 3, I was like, "Oh, I'm not really." I found myself getting distracted by other things and, like, scrolling on my phone, and I was like, I don't think I'm tapped in." And then episode 4 was like, "Oh, okay." And then I didn't understand some things, and I was like, I gotta go back and watch it again because it lost me in episodes 1, 2, 3. And then at 4, it made me go, "Oh, what's going on over here? Shit, I missed some shit. Let me go back and watch it again." So I was like, "Okay, I'm technically covering, getting the plot points, and okay, interesting, interesting." But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. This has nothing to do with any fucking thing. And why are you making her a scapegoat? That doesn't have shit to do with shit. And stop making women and girls the scapegoat. God, that's so disgusting. I just wanted to talk about a fucking show, and you guys just want Drake to be a fucking pedophile so goddamn bad that you put that on her. It's fucking disgusting. Child, I love a binge watch. And yeah, like I said, I wanna know for myself. I don't wanna hear it from other people. I don't want 1,000 people to ask me, "Did you see how it ended? What did you think about when such and such died?" Just let me see it myself, I'll just watch it myself. I'm still not over Bob. If we're perfectly honest, I'm still not over Bob. That was a great season. Season 3 was chef's kiss. It was so good. But Bob dying was like, "Oh, fucking rip my heart out, why don't you?" Jesus Christ. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So, yeah, I'm glad that it's finally coming to an end. Definitely think it could have been better, and I really wish they had not have had the break because I think that definitely contributed to breaking the spell for people. Man, he was so good. He was so good. I definitely didn't watch that. I definitely didn't watch that. I got Netflix for 30 days. 30 days. I've got a little bit of overlap into January, and then I will be off of Netflix again. I don't really like Netflix, but there are some things that have, accrued over the last year and a half where I'm like, okay, let me get it for a month, watch the things that I want to see, including the ending of Stranger Things, and then I will be back to not having Netflix. It infuriates me sometimes when I think about all the time that I had Netflix. This was before I started rotating my streaming services. But there I would go for months not watching Netflix, but I paid for it. It was just a reoccurring, "Yeah, pay that, pay that, pay that." They got bank out of me when I wasn't even watching. No more. No more. I get my fill, and then I move on to what's my next 30-day subscription gonna look like on some other platform, and then I move on from that. Yeah. Man. Oh, thank you, beautiful. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like, you're not doing that much for me to just in this motherfucking economy? You're not doing that much for me to justify that. And I like to play the field, you know? I do, I like to play the field. Yeah, yeah. Give me a little bit of Netflix once a year. Because unless they drop something having to do with Beyonce or Kendrick, I'm trying to think if there's anybody else on the planet. Nope, can't think of anything. Unless they drop something specific to Beyonce or Kendrick, I'll be back. I'll have Netflix again a year from now for a month. But in between them, Imma do a month over here, Imma do a month over there. Yeah, get my stories. The only thing that I constantly pay for is, YouTube because I hate YouTube ads, and it's worth it for me. I spend so much time on YouTube. Hi. That it's worth it to me to pay to not see those ads. I don't even use the other 1,000 perks that come with. No, I just don't wanna see the ads, and I will pay for that. I spend more time on YouTube than any other streaming platform, so I will pay to not see the ads. They get on my fucking nerves. Nerves, especially and I've talked about this before, but some people already know that this one really grinds my gears when people pay for their music video to be an ad of their stupid little song, their tacky ass little music video. I don't wanna see that shit. I don't wanna hear that shit. I hate that shit so goddamn much. Or an episode of their stupid podcast. I hate that shit so much. So much. So goddamn much. Whoo, child, I'm getting upset just thinking about it. Those are the worst. Those are the worst. And I've told a couple artists, before I realized, let me just pay to get away from these people. This was before I was here on the platform with you all. So this was some time ago. But I told a couple artists on their channel, I will never fucking I don't care if you become the number one artist on the planet at some point in time in your career. I will never listen to your fucking music because of the way that you advertise on YouTube. Fuck you. Do a trailer. Clip the bangiest banger part of your song, 30 seconds of it, and then move the fuck on. But trying to force it down people's throats by paying for it and calling it an ad? You're forcing me to listen to your fucked up song I don't want to hear, where you say nothing and use auto-tune. You mumble rap, you whisper sing. I can't stand y'all. Can't stand y'all. Mumble rappers and whisper singers. Ugh. 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 I understand paying for promo to draw eyes to your work, but you got to pay for people to watch your actual work? Backwards. That's backwards. That's backwards. Ads when you pause a video, like, get over it. Love to you, beautiful. This is hilarious. Oh, man. And when you can't skip, nah, I just can't. I just can't. And then there's this. Amy says, I got premium back when the Daily Wire started their full court press of ads. That was my last straw. Right. The political ads, the politicized, the right wing folk, a lot of that was creeping up as well. And I was like, oh, fuck no. No. No, 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 no. 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 I hate a political ad. There's no content I hate more in the realm of commercials than a political ad. I hate them. They're all terrible, except for Zoran Mamdani. All of his ads were perfect. Perfect. I sought them out on Instagram. Like, ooh, he dropped a new. Let's see what he did. They were great. Great. Everybody else suck. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I'm not voting for you. So on and so forth. Yeah. Yeah. YouTube Premium definitely worth just I don't have to deal with a bunch of aggravating content that I don't ever, ever want to see. And it's crazy because sometimes I will log into YouTube like via my real jobby job, and I never use that account. It doesn't have any blockers on it. There's no filters set up. It's just raw dog YouTube. It's not premium, nothing. And every time I look at it, I'm like, when I look at the home screen, I'm like, this is the scariest shit ever. Ever. Because it is just a collage of the worst of what is on YouTube. And I'm like, wow, this is what you are default showing people. Couldn't be me. Not when I log into the YouTube that I use. Nah. Everything on that homepage was selected for me. Some of it sucks, and I'm like, nah, that's not it. I don't want to see it. And it's like, okay, sorry. How about some more Josh Johnson? Yeah, let's do that. You never fails. Let's do that. Great. You want to watch old footage of Beyonce? Yes. Show me more of that. How about some animals? Yes. Science? Yes. Yeah. My top channels on YouTube for the year were like the B1M. So that's engineering and construction. Some science, some biographies, and then me and We Are Deciphered rounded out the top 5. Like I was number 4. So I wasn't even my top for me, right? There were at least three channels ahead of me in my top 5. And then I was number 4 and We Are Deciphered was number 5. And I was like, this is accurate. This is completely accurate. This is a direct reflection of my actual YouTube habits. Yeah, see, no, there's no I would break something. I would break something. I would break something. Yeah, there's no way. I would break something. Fuck her. Fuck them. Yeah, no way. So, it's really crazy. It's really crazy. Like, this is white boy and red pill nigga haven. Supplements and just all of the things. I've just been Joe Rogan was on the homepage. I was like, "Wow, this is such a vastly different experience than me being logged into the account that I actually use." Tch, no way. No way. And if I just went to YouTube and I saw all that shit, I'd be like, "Ooh, YouTube is ass," and I would bounce. There's no indication of, like, a black presence. I got none of that. I got none of that. I don't even think I saw butt. Yeah, it was just gross content. So, I feel fortunate that I have that premium is even an option and that I have it. But yeah, that's a bill that I'm faithful to. Yeah, take my money because I don't wanna see the bullshit. I feel the same way. Aw, shucks, thanks, thanks. I was like, "Well, let me do something. I can at least get a little hat, wear that a couple times, be my little celebratory." Oh, that reminds me. I got for the first time ever for the first time ever, I got, personalized holiday cards, and I was gonna send them out to everybody who has bought a book. Not everybody, but a good chunk of people that have bought a book. And then FedEx lost them, misdelivered them actually, because I have a photo. Don't know where. Don't know where in the city this place is. It's not my house. I do know that. That's very evident. It's not my house. The number of the building is in the photo, not my house. I immediately go on to FedEx to file a claim, and they're like, "Oh, you can't file a claim for this. We show it was successfully delivered. Have a nice day." So, no cards and out the money. Because I just have now I'm Miss Fix the fucking problem, right? I've got bigger problems to deal with right now. That I was like, if I have to go down this rabbit hole with FedEx and contacting their fucking lawyers and shit like that, Imma break something in this house. Imma break something in this house. And the damage is done. I can't get the cards replaced in time to send them. I was just like, "You know what? Okay. All right. I'm just gonna let this go because I've got bigger fish to fry right now, and I'm frying them. I'm frying them real good. Now suddenly I want some fried fish. I have to deal with that in a moment. But, yeah, I was just like, "You know what? I've got enough shit to deal with right now. I don't feel like dealing with this." But I tried. I tried. Now, I've solved this problem. My Rolodex is very effective, okay? So I would not if I were to elect to try and resolve this issue, I would not be going through customer service. I would be going through the C-suite, and I just don't fucking feel like it. And like I said, I've got bigger things that I have to deal with. I have to move. I'm suing these people. We've got mediation now on the calendar. So, before the end of the year. So I've got to deal with that. I've got to pack. I've got to junk a bunch of stuff. I've got to work and make money. I was just like, this will be the thing. This will be the thing. These cards will push me over the fucking edge. So I just release them into the universe. They're gone. I was so fucking pissed. The good news is that I got them Black Friday weekend. That was my one purchase on Black Friday weekend because cards were stupidly priced. If I had paid full price for them, I would go down that rabbit hole to get my money back. But I didn't. My sanity, again, my sanity is my priority right now, and I'm dealing with enough shit. So, yeah, that happened, and I've moved on from it. I feel like and that's kind of the thing. It's like in the scheme of things, with what it is that I'm going through right now, the fact that I'm even able to, pretty seamlessly transition to a new home, eh, like my cup runneth over in several ways. So I was just like, they're gone and they're gone, and that's that. And I'm over it. They're gone and they're gone, and that's that. And I'm over it. So I tried. I tried. Yeah, I was definitely pissed for a couple hours because I was just like, I just could not, and it was pouring down rain that day, and I did go look for the package, like, maybe it is on this street, and I'm just not familiar with this address, and I went and looked at every single building, house, duplex on my street, and none of them matched in the rain. I did it in the rain and the cold and dark. It was also dark. So after that, once I came inside, then I was pissed. Then I was pissed. I tried for a second time to file a claim, and I got the exact same result. Nope, can't do it. We delivered this. Enjoy your package. I was like, let me close out of this website and walk the fuck away, because if I pursue this, I'm gonna attach all my angst to it. And I'm tired, you know? I don't feel like putting forth that kind of energy. I don't feel like feeling those kinds of emotions. So, yeah, I choose to rest in gratitude. uh, and that's it. That's it. Especially since the looters made sure that Christmas was not canceled for my little nieces and nephews. My littlest nieces and nephews, I should say, because they're all little. I don't care if you're in college, you're all little. But for the littlest, basically the babies, y'all made sure that Christmas was not canceled for them, and that's really the only thing that I really give a damn about. So, yeah. I know, right? Don't give me additional stuff to pack. I'm trying to pack as little as possible and junk as much as possible, and just take this opportunity to just downsize everything. I don't know that I will do that. I have been putting together a list for the cats, though. Um, yeah, I've been putting together a list for the cats because the goal is to move Oscar in. So I'm putting that together, and when I have it together and available to folks, I will let you know. I appreciate you bringing it up. Yeah, Oscar's settling in, and just, Oscar's going through a I want food 5 times a day kind of thing where he just paws at the door, and oh god. Yesterday morning, this cat just trips me out because it's like if it was pouring down rain for 3 days and I had a house with heat and food that was delivered to me, you couldn't pay me to leave and just go wander around or go hang out with somebody in the rain? No. But yesterday morning, this boy showed up soaking wet, happy as a clam, soaking wet. I'm like, "Where have you been and why have you been?" Wherever you've been. That just seems really he was just like, "Just feed me. I'm good. Oh, it's warm in here. I'm gonna go inside and eat." I was just like, "I'm too fucking through with you." Um, so, yeah, but I was thinking and, I'm doing my little research, but there are some things that I need to get, uh, that need to be neutral, that aren't like, like a new tree, a new cat tree that isn't covered in princey, but is an equal opportunity tree, for both of them. I might get 2 trees so that I can have one in his, because he's gonna be cordoned for a while, so maybe I'll put a cat tree in there, so I'm pulling it together. I've mostly just been, as I shared before, just focused on the whole administrative process of the sequencing of litigation and mediation and documentation and all of that. It's been clipping along relatively smoothly so far. Um, and I'm grateful for that too. I haven't had to deal with a whole lot of stress in that regard. So, at least yet. And so I'm just I'm thankful for that as well, you know? Yeah. Yeah. He's such a funny, funny cat. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a little adventure, but it'll be a good one. I'm claiming that now. It'll be good. It'll be good. All will go well. So, yeah, I'm gonna start packing this weekend and basically pack up everything except for the bedroom, the computer, the kitchen, and the living room for Christmas. And then right after Christmas, I'm gonna pack those things up. And then I move about the first week in January. So there's a little bit of overlap, but not too much. Yeah. I don't think the opposing party I think today, as a matter of fact, yesterday and today are probably the first that they're getting a really strong indicator that they've fucked up. I don't think they've quite put those pieces together, and I didn't care to, draw them a map. Enough shit is gonna fall on their head, that they will put the pieces together, or they'll call somebody and say, "Well, what's going on here?" And somebody else will tell them, "Oh, you're liable. That's what's happening here. You're liable." So, but they have agreed to mediation, so great. Fantastic. That's what we want. Hopefully, we come to a swift agreement and we avoid litigation. If we don't, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm ready to sue. So, yeah. But if it can get resolved in mediation, that's certainly faster. So that's the goal. I just want it resolved and I want to move on, but I'm not going to let it go. That's for damn sure. Oh, it's insane. It's insane. It's totally insane. Yeah, I think it's gonna be just fine, you know? Um, I've been really happy to just let the process and just make sure I'm sequencing what I need to be doing appropriately. Like I said, there are already oversight entities that are weighing in on the entire illegality of this situation, and that only strengthens my claims. So, they're not just having to deal with me or mediation or litigation in this situation. They're in some other, you know, trouble as well. So, um, again, don't deal me a hand and then be shocked when I play the cards. Nah. Nah, nah, nah. So, thank you. I appreciate it. They've already indicated that they wanna resolve it, and they've already indicated that they wanna resolve it, but what has become clear to me is that, at least as of yesterday morning, I think it started to change for them last evening, but as of yesterday morning, they're not aware of all of the things that need to be resolved. I think that at least as of yesterday morning, they were in "Oh, all we gotta do is" mindset, and it's like, "Nope, that's not all you gotta do. That's not all you gotta do, and that's not all you gotta pay." So, yeah, I think the reality started to change for them last night, and, they've at least come to realize as of today of like, "Oh, we might have a problem here beyond what we thought we had a problem with." Yeah, you do. So, I'm very proud of me. I'm very proud of me. I'm very proud of me that I have not just gone fucking ham. Probably has something to do with the fact that I'm also exhausted. So, that's not the ideal approach anyway, you know? And I guess this is a situation where I can see the real possibility of a positive outcome, and so therefore, I'm perfectly fine with the process and letting the process play out, and relatively quickly, hopefully. So, yeah, all good, all good. Yep, yeah, they're giving them directly. Yep, they're giving them directly, and they have to sign things to acknowledge things that they are given. So, and then I get copies, and I just add that to my stack. That is irrefutable judicial notice. Irrefutable judicial notice. Irrefutable judicial notice. So, yeah. Oh, you know what? I hadn't thought of this. If I have the time and if I have the time to look into this, I will look into digital card. I hadn't even thought of that because I'm old school. I'm old school. So I hadn't even thought of that. So we'll see. But yeah, and this is why I say like, I think they're probably starting to get pieces of paper where they're like and be told like, "Nope, you gotta sign this. Nope, da 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 da." That they're probably starting to be like, "Huh, wait a second. What's happening here? Huh? What's going on?" So they know as of yesterday. I know because I got a copy and they signed it. They know that they've broken the law. any reasonable person from that point on would go, well, what's the consequence of that? Right? That's the next step. And like I said, I'm not going to fucking hold these people's hands. I'm not going to try and convince them of shit. First of all, this is shit you either knew or should have known as the people who own this property and who decided to rent it in this city. You should already know these things. I'm not going to explain it to you. I'm already doing a bunch of work to explain it to myself. I'm not going to explain it to you. Somebody else will explain it to you. And at that point, they'll know. And so I feel pretty confident that they, probably called a lawyer and said, like, what does all this mean? Or they're sitting down and doing their own research, figure out what does this mean? Or they call those oversight entities back and say, tell us in kindergarten terms what this means. You know, what does this mean that we've broken the law? Like, you've issued us a thing. What are the consequences of that? And I have a feeling that they probably got that information based on what I received when they were notified that they broke the law. There was probably an attachment to that to explain in finite detail how, what the consequences are, that it does fall under a private right of action, what the statutory damages are under a private right of action. So I'm not even making up the numbers. Those things are defined in the law. So, yeah. Yeah, just hope things continue to go smoothly, and I have, all faith and belief that they will. Yeah, that they will. Not for these folks, but may they have the holidays they deserve. May they have the holidays they deserve. It feels so late in the day. I can't believe it's only 2:30. But Imma go. I hope you all have a good rest of the day or evening wherever you are. I hope you eat something tasty. Have a little treat for yourself. I hope you have some good decompression time, some good guilty pleasure show watching time, some good cuddle time. I hope you stay safe. I hope that if you are in the state of Washington or anywhere that is experiencing disaster right now, that you, your family members, your pets, stay safe. We are going to get more water here, and rivers are rising and cresting, and we've got over 30 highways that are closed down across the state. Thousands of businesses and homes that are underwater. The last time we had significant flooding in 1990, it's either 90 or 94, 2,000 people were evacuated out of the flood zone, the main flood zone in Western Washington. And they, the other night, evacuated 100,000 people in one evacuation declaration. It was 400,000 people. So it's not good. We're not the only state to go through some kind of natural disaster who, at the end of the day, is not going to get federal funds from the government because Donald has been withholding them. He withholds them from red states as well. And this is a red state, but it has a big blue dot. So people assume that it's a blue state. It's not. But we know we're not going to get any disaster relief from the feds outside of the little bit that FEMA would do. But distribution of funds from the federal government, we're not going to get that. And that's going to be interesting fallout to watch play out because the places that are most impacted by this are definitely people who voted for Donald Trump as president. I don't think that there is a single farm or vineyard or orchard in Washington state that has not been impacted by this flooding. So that's going to be a reality check for people. And it's going to contribute to the squeezing, the pressure, the disgust, the outrage, the rage that people have towards the federal government. So we can do this before the end of the year. Sure, we can do a second sinners conversation before the end of the year. Or maybe the New Year weekend or something like that. We'll try and get it in. All right. So stay safe out there. For fuck's sake, don't drive through standing water. Don't walk through it either. Don't go onto bridges or overpasses where water and debris and water has collected. Those structures are not safe. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be a devastating holiday for a whole hell of a lot of people. And not just here, but around the country. Whether it's a natural disaster or economic disaster. It's gonna be a hard holiday for a lot of people. So be gentle with yourselves and be gentle with the people that, you love, and offer what grace you can in the face of biscuit head asses. Because I think just about everybody is going through something. But don't suffer no fools. And I will see you all very soon. Peace.